Hi, this is Eddie from Boss Laser Tech Support, located here in Sanford, Florida. Today we're going to go through interlock testing with your laser machine. If you notice that when you're running a job that your laser is not actually firing onto the material, or you're not seeing your milliamps moving, you might be having an issue with your interlocks. So today we're going to go through checking 3 of those interlocks that are on your laser machine. The tools that you're going to need to check your interlocks on the laser machine, you're going to need 4 in total. The first tool that we're going to list here is actually a pin that you could create. That you can use for your door interlock. We're going to end your water flow sensor. So we're going to need a type of pin that you can fashion out of a paper clip. And then this is including your toolbox is a chiller bypass. So this is for the connection in the back where your chiller cable goes. We're going to go ahead and use this one as well to actually check and see if the laser is firing from the power supply and the laser tube. We're going to need the 6-pin bypass. This is going to be also in your toolbox. You'll need a multimeter. You'll need to purchase your own multimeter, and we're going to be reading. We're actually going to use this for continuity. The first step that you want to do when checking for your interlocks is to actually make sure that you're getting power to your laser power supply. It's going to be located on the right side of your machine, on the biggest cabinet here. When you check it, you're going to be checking for 120 volts, or if your system's set up for 220, you want to check it like that. So you'll get your multimeter and change it over. It's going to be AC voltage. 120, you're going to have it at 200. 220, you're going to have it at 600. Your red prong is going to go onto the red wire that's on the 3 wired connection here. That's where your power is coming in. So your red prong is going to go there, and your black is going to go on the ground, which is the green and yellow connection. So if you look, we are getting voltage to the power supply. From here, we're going to go into checking if the laser actually fires without having the control panel or interlock system connected. So we're going to use the 6-pin bypass next. So next we're going to check if the power supply is actually firing. So we're going to need the 6-pin connector, and you're going to make sure that you have the machine off when you disconnect this connection at the power supply. It's going to be right here. You'll notice there's about 4 connections here, and then it's a 6-pin just like the bypass. You'll go ahead and unplug it, and then go ahead and put in your bypass. Then from here, you want to go ahead and turn on your machine. Now with your machine on, we're going to fire from the power supply. There's actually a test button right between your 2 connections here. You'll see it right here. When you press on it, you want to look at your milliamp reader, and then if you can look over and see if it's actually pulsing on your material. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so it did pulse. So that means that the power supply and the laser tube is good. And I did get milliamps off of that. So from here, we're going to go ahead and go to our door interlock and checking that. If you have a gold power supply, you may need to loop your 3 and 4 using the cable that comes on the 6-pin. So you would unscrew that and place it on 3 and 4, and then go ahead and pulse it on your control panels. So checking the door interlocks, you're going to need 2 items. One is a magnet that doesn't come in your toolbox, and then the pin. The magnet we're going to use is we're going to go ahead and place this on top of the interlock to see if it will fire. Place your magnet on the door interlock. Once you do this, it will trigger the interlock. At this point, you can go ahead and press the pulse button on your control panel. If it fires, then that means that the magnet that's on the bottom of the lid on your hood is not making contact with the interlock. So at this point, we may need to just adjust your interlock. You're going to have 2 Allen screws here, and you're going to grab your Allen wrench from your toolbox and adjust it. And I'll show you how to adjust it here. You're going to have it adjusted at an angle where it's almost peeking out. So after making the adjustment, go ahead and close your lid and pulse it. If it does fire and you see milliamps moving, that means the issue was that this needed to be adjusted. If your door interlock still is not firing with the magnet placed on top of it, we're going to go ahead and check continuity on that door interlock. So we're going to need your multimeter, and you're going to want to change your setting to the continuity setting here. So if it's off, I'm going to look for a symbol here. And to make sure that you have the setting correct, go ahead and take your prongs, and you'll hear a noise. So your disconnect for your door interlock is going to be located underneath your control panel. It's going to be right here. You can go ahead and undo it, and still have your magnet on your door interlock at the top. Checking for continuity, you go ahead and on the male side, place your prongs on both. So I did have continuity on the door interlock, so that's good. If I did not have continuity on the door interlock, I would go ahead and take my pin that I made and put this into the female side. Now with your pin in your female side, it's going to bypass the door interlock. Earlier we checked if it didn't have continuity, we would bypass it like this. Go ahead and try firing the laser again by pulsing it on the control panel. If it still doesn't pulse, that means we're going to keep this in place, then we're going to move on to our next interlock. The next interlock we're going to check is the water flow sensor. Now you're going to make sure that your chiller is on when you check it. Your connection, just like on the door interlock here, it's a quick disconnect. You can go ahead and take that apart. Now since water is flowing through it, the float should be triggered. So we're going to go ahead and check continuity on this float and make sure that it does have that. So it does have continuity on it. So if you have continuity on your water flow sensor and you also had continuity on your door interlock, go ahead and put this back together. Go ahead and plug it back in to its connection here, and then move on to your checking your chiller cable signal. If you didn't have continuity on the water flow sensor and also not on the door interlock, go ahead and place a pin inside the female plug here, just like you have on the door interlock, and then also continue to move on to your chiller signal. After checking the first 2 interlocks, we're going to be at the third one, which is your chiller signal. So when we're checking this, we're going to go ahead and check for continuity as well. You're going to make sure that you have your water chiller on, but you want to have your machine off to check for continuity. You're going to take your prongs, and on the back of the plug that goes for your chiller signal, there's going to be 2 wires that plug in. You're going to take both of your prongs and place one of the prongs on each of those wires. and check for continuity. At this point, if you do have continuity, go ahead and plug in your bypass for your chiller and see if it fires from your control panel. If it does fire, that's great. Go ahead and contact tech support. If it doesn't fire, we're going to have to go and leave this in its place. Then we're going to move on to checking the continuity on the power supply. So you're going to take your multimeter and place your prongs, one on 3 on the pin, the 6 pin here, and then one on 4. Now when you have them both on there, you want to make sure that all your interlocks are on, so your chiller's on, your door's closed for your door interlock. And once you put it on there, if you have continuity, that's good. If you don't have continuity, you want to go ahead and call tech support. And that's how you would check your interlocks with your Boss laser machine. If you have more questions about this, feel free to contact tech support. Our email is techsupport@bosslaser.com. You can also call us at 407-878-0880. We'll see you next time.